Sack another food. There we go, everybody. Take out Shieldred. Okay, well. So much for Shieldred there. Alright. Okay. Do you have another Shieldred opponents? Maybe that can help you. Oh, well, that's kind of awkward here. Alright, I guess I got ahead of myself there. Hello my fiery friends, the Infernoman here with the latest in budget deck technology. And for today's deck tech, we'll be covering the Explorer format, and we're going to be looking at a deck that I actually put together a while ago, or actually a couple years ago now, and okay, the deck kind of was terrible. Look at that. Wow, I did not get any views. But the good news is we've definitely come a long way since then. So hopefully this version of food will do a lot better than my previous mono green iteration. So thanks to the newest additions from the Wilds of Eldraine, we have another shot at looking at a deck that I was happy to put together a while ago, but we're going to try it one more time here. This is Mono Green Food Fight. But as always, longtime viewers of the channel will know we have to talk about the stats before we cover the main meat of it. So we're going to be on Mono Green deck. We have an average mana curve of about, wow, only 2.8. That's a little high, but don't worry, we're going to obviously work around that with what we're going to play. We have 16 creatures in the deck. We have 4 sorceries, 10 artifacts, 11 enchantments, and 23 lands. So the basic game plan for our deck is we have crafted a very delicious deck. Of course, to beat out our opponent and get to victory. In order to do that, however, thanks to a lot of cards from the Wilds of Eldraine, we have a lot of food support now to make this possible. So starting in the 1-drop slot, we have a bunch of Candy Trail. This food clue basically just allows us to scry, and of course, it's a food that we can utilize for value later on. It also allows us to gain some life, and also, unlike other food, draw us a card. Witch's Oven here allows us to sacrifice some of our select creatures so that we can turn into food, which sometimes can be more helpful than just having the creature chump block. But we'll talk about how that works in a little bit.
A prize tool that can help us later.
As far as some of our newest cards, we have Sandrit's Steelseeker. This actually came from the Brothers War, but it also does help us filter our deck a little bit. As we go through our deck, and of course we have more food entering the battlefield, we can look at the top card of our library, and if it's a land, we put it into our hand, and otherwise if it's not, we can either dump it into the graveyard, or we can also just keep it on top, which allows us, of course, to keep digging through all of our lands to make sure that we also hit our land drops. As far as additional food benefits, we have Tough Cookie. I actually want to highlight this card for just a moment. Tough Cookie here is an artifact food golem where it enters the battlefield, it creates a food. For 3 mana, you can then make a non-creature artifact you control, make a total 4/4 artifact creature, or of course, you pay 2, tap it, and then sacrifice it to gain some life. This basically is 2 food in 1, and wow, this card does, of course, a lot for just the 2 mana investment. This is going to allow us to turn a lot of our food into creatures, which can help us chump block or help us close out the game. Trail of Crumbs from the original Eldraine is here as well to, of course, help us dig through our specific pieces as we keep sacrificing food. Welcome to Sweet Tooth here is also a brand new card where with the Saga ability allows us to create a human token, creates a food token, and also puts some +1/+1 counters on another creature depending on how much food we control +1. This actually can help us pump out one of our weaker creatures such as the Tough Cookie or Sandrit's Steelseeker. A single copy of Collector's Vault here to allow us to filter through our deck to draw cards and discard cards we don't need. Some ramp in Return of the Wilds where we can either make a human token, a food token, or get a basic land onto the battlefield. As far as the main creatures, we actually are going to rock some of the cards from the original Eldraine. We have Wicked Wolf here and Feasting Troll King. Wicked Wolf, of course, can make itself indestructible. Feasting Troll King can get destroyed, but of course with the ton of food that we make, we can keep bringing it back to keep forcing our opponent to have to deal with it. Our final game piece here is going to be Knight of Sweet's Revenge, our biggest finisher in the deck. When it enters the battlefield, you create a food token. Foods you control have tap to add green mana. And then for 7 mana and sacrificing the Knight of Sweet's Revenge, creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of food you control. You activate it only as a sorcery. So to put it another way, this is basically Craterhoof Behemoth in the Explorer format, and I am all here for that. This card is extremely powerful, and this honestly will close out games for us very quickly because our opponent has no way of stopping it most of the time. Even with a handful of food out, this can of course pump up everything. We don't have that many creatures to start with, but of course if you time it correctly with say Tough Cookie, with your Sandrit's Steelseeker, the Wicked Wolf, and the Feasting Troll King, your opponent is going to have a very hard time of dealing with all the food that we will create. So we will be able to overwhelm them and chomp the competition. No! As far as your land base is concerned, we have 20 snow-covered mountains. You'll see why in just a moment. And of course, 3 gingerbread cabins to create for us more free food. And far as your sideboard is concerned, you're going to have a Haywire Might here to deal with non-creature artifacts and enchantments, Soul Guide Lantern as your catch-all for Graveyard Hate. As for regular artifacts, battles, enchantments, or creatures with flying, Atrakas Fall here. Giant Opportunity can help us pseudo-ramp in the form of creating more food tokens, or we can create a 7/7 Giant if we need to. We also are going to rock Blizzard Brawl. This, of course, is going to be one of our great removal creature spells out there, and this is the reason why we're utilizing the Snowcard Force in the first place. A single copy of Heroic Intervention, which allows us to protect everything we have so we don't get to deal with wraths. And as far as dealing with specific creatures, we have Tyvar Stand, which can give another one of our creatures hexproof and indestructible. It can scale up very quickly to help us also possibly close out the game in a pinch. And then finally, our pseudo wrath on our end, Spinning Wheel Kick. Normally this is extremely expensive to play, but because of the fact that we have a ton of ramp in the form of not just our forest, but also the food, once we have Night of Sweet's Revenge out, Spinning Wheel Kick here, if we cast it just right, and say like we have a Feasting Troll King out, can destroy a whole opponent's board and allow us to clear out the way to get to victory. That's basically the whole game plan for you, everybody. Just create a ton of food to pump them up, utilize your food wisely with your Wicked Wolves and your Feasting Troll Kings, and you'll have no problem getting your wins. The only other final tip I just want to give you before we get going is remember that, again, you have a ton of food, but don't starve yourself out on resources.
Boo! You stink!
But is it possible to then rock this whole food deck on the small budget that we have? Well, there's only one way to find out. So let's take our delicious deck
Could you not be yourself for 5 minutes?
into the Explorer format and show you how well it does. But before we continue, if you do like any of the content that I do, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content so you don't miss out on any of the gameplay, booster pack openings, deck decks, and so much more. Alright, my fire friends, here we go. We are playing our mono green food deck here in Explorer, and well, we definitely have the Feasting Troll Kings in hand here, which is nice for us, but we don't have a way of casting them just yet. It's going to be a little while, but we could definitely build up our food here very easily. So, snow-covered forest. If we can just get at least one more land, then we can take advantage of the gingerbread cabin completely. Candy Trail. Well, that actually helps out a little bit here. So with that, we'll play Candy Trail. Digging for a land. Alright, there's our land. Put Tough Cookie to the bottom. Alright, looks like our opponent is playing some kind of Rakdos deck. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually kind of awkward for us. Still, I think we can still get away with this. So, Return to the Wilds. Trailer Crumbs. They exile those. So I guess our opponent is playing a discard deck. That's not good for us, because we definitely want the Feasting Troll King to do its thing. Get a basic land, make a food. Alright. Well, slowly but surely we can ramp. Shieldred. Terrifying, but this is fine, everybody. We can still get away with this. Okay, so here's how we do this. Gingerbread Cabin. Make a food. Wicked Wolf. Going full control here. We fight Shieldred, so this is sweet, everybody. So here's how we do this. Sack one food. Sack another food. There we go, everybody. Take out Shieldred. Okay, well. So much for Shieldred there. Alright. Okay. Do you have another Shieldred opponent? Maybe that can help you. Oh, well, that's kind of awkward here. Alright, I guess I got ahead of myself there. That's fine, everybody. We can still play Feasting Troll King, though. Make a bunch more food again. Okay, so we're down, but we're not out yet. Waste not. If we could just generate a little bit more food, we actually should be okay here. So with that, we'll go swinging here and see if they do anything. Not. Okay, well, that's not too shabby now. So with that, let's see. Do we play Tough Cookie now? I think actually we'll play a second Feasting Troll King. We need to make a ton of food. Alright, so look at all that food, everybody. Delicious. Beseech the Mirror. Okay, well, I guess they're going to get a Shieldred number 2 out. Oh, Extinction Event. Well, this is really awkward for us because we're going to lose our 2 trolls here. That's fine, everybody. We're going to find a way around this regardless. So with that, Tough Cookie. Okay, we make a food. Okay, before they get rid of that, so here's how we do this. We're going to have to turn on one of our food here. Opponent's almost out of cards. We lose our food there, but we could... Oh, dear. Wow. Okay. Wow, our opponent had completely all the removal they needed to get rid of us, but that's okay. We're still looking at a clean slate here with everybody. Oh. Really? Really? They top-decked a Beseech the Mirror? I can't believe that. I am kind of mad about that. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. Not mad at all. Wicked Wolf. Okay. Turn to the wilds. We'll create another food. We'll create another human. And we go from here. Okay. What is your last card, opponent? Fable the Mirror Breaker. Okay, so they get a goblin, which we could take out next turn anyway, which is nice. Another forest. Now we really need to draw on some action here. That's okay. We fight the goblin. We're probably going to activate Castle Lockwain right now. We go swinging here. If we just get another Feasting Troll King, we should be okay. Any one of our payoffs would actually be sweet at this point. Anything. Okay, opponents. Do they discard? They discard one card, draw a card. Hooligan's Command. They take out our human. Shieldred coming back again. But we have a ton of food, so we can deal with her. That's not a problem for us. Draw. Oh, perfect. This is too perfect here. Okay. So, snow-covered forest. Full control again. Wicked Wolf. Once again. Wicked Wolf coming down. We then sacrifice some food. Chomp away. Oh, num 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 num. Fight Shieldred. Shieldred down. Wait, how much is this? What, 6? Plus that? That's not enough yet. That's fine. Down to 8. Okay. Next turn is lethal, everybody. Can our opponent stop us here? Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Okay, desperate draw time. That puts them down to 6. Wow, they have another Shieldred. Wow. Well, that's really annoying. Okay, deck. This is it. Can you draw into what we need? Let's go. Come on, deck. Okay, it's a land. Not helpful at all right now. That's okay, everybody. We'll swing here regardless. We have to put pressure on them now. Okay, so with that, eat some more food. Eat some more food again. Alright. Shieldred down. Kiki Jiki down. Okay, opponents. They're basically it right here. It's make or break time for them. What's their last card? They're drawing here. They're desperate. Did they get what they needed? They did not. Yes, we got there. All right. Mono green food fight, everybody. Wow, we fought our way through several Shieldreds there just to get to victory. Oh, I love that. All right, my fiery friends, here we go. We are playing our mono green food fight deck here in Explorer, and okay, so we do have our payoff here, which is Feasting Troll King, and we have a way to ramp to it. So we're going to keep this hand, and hopefully we can get to victory with this. Elvish Mystic. Okay, so is it going to be Devotion, or is it going to be the Elves deck? I guess we'll find out in a bit. So we'll scry, and okay. Put away one forest. We just need to get the Feasting Troll King, and we should be good here. The Seiju. Wow. They destroyed a food for that. Interesting. All right, well, that's fine. I actually don't mind that, really. So with that, we'll create another food token, and we'll get a basic tap land. So the game plan right now, basically, everyone, is I guess we're just going to ramp to Feasting Troll King. I'm really surprised they did that. Throwing Rites of Tillamook. So are they an Elves deck, I guess? They are an Elves deck. All right. Well, that's fine. That's perfectly fine with us. So with that, Tough Cookie. We make a food. We will turn on one of our food into a creature. Down to 16. Just got to soften them up just a little bit here. So next turn, we've got Feasting Troll King on board, and we should be able to close out this game hopefully very quickly. Jaspera's Sentinel. Gwynion's Elite. Oh, that means they can flip this now. Yikes. That's okay, everybody. I'm not scared yet. Not yet, at least. Okay, Feasting Troll King coming down. We make a ton of food. We will go swinging here. Do you block, opponent? They do not.
Alright, so we have technically a 2-turn clock right now, but our opponent already has what they need for the Illamok. Circle of Dream Druid. Okay, well, our opponent here is going to definitely go white here, and oh boy. We could use a Wicked Wolf right now. That would be nice. Realm Walker. Okay, I think we might be gone here. Yikes. Collector's Vault. Sandred Steelseeker. Snow-covered Forest. We will play Collector's Vault. We will get a land. And with that, do we swing here? I guess we're going to have to swing here. We got to keep the pressure on our opponent. They're down to 7. Can we stabilize here? This is the scary part here. Obviously, our opponent is going to play the War Master. And did we lose here? I guess we'll find out right now. Oh boy. Second Elvish War Master. Yikes. Elves doing elf things. What a surprise, everybody. Why is it always I get beaten by elves? Every single time I do these recordings. That's okay, everybody. I'm not salty at all. Not salty at all. They make a ton of mana. They play another Clan Caller. They go bigger here. Circle of the Dream Druids again. Elvish Visionary. They draw a card. Opponent, you have the win here at this point. Just finish this off already. Just end my misery. Realm Walker. Okay, opponent's just basically being super greedy at this point. Just let's end this now, everybody. There it is. And now we get dunked on. They can swing here. We can block, of course. Not going to do much here. Down to 15. Okay. Knight of Sweet's Revenge. Oh, wow. We actually got this one Knight of Sweet's Revenge off the top. Are you kidding me? Way too late here, everybody. That's a shame. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll play it. Make a food. Throw away the Return to the Wilds. Well, this is kind of awkward, actually, now. Sacrifice some food here. Bringing back what we need. Tough Cookie going to the graveyard. Okay, so how do we do this, everybody? Is there any way we can actually win right here? I don't think we can. That was really awkward by our deck. But otherwise, I think I'm just going to cut it here, everybody. So, that was... Wow, I don't even know what to say to that. We actually had in our hand here the actual card that could have helped us win. But obviously, we had the sponge a hit. Actually, I don't know. Did I play that wrong, everybody? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, my fiery friends, here we go. We are playing our mono green food fight deck in Explorer, and ooh, okay, so we definitely have in this hand our finishers. We just need to get to a couple of actual creatures to pay it off with, and we can actually get to victory very easily with this. Assuming our opponent, of course, doesn't have any cards to screw us over with. We'll play our Snow-Covered Forest, play a Candy Trail. Let's start scrying to fix our draws here. Okay, so with that, we'll put the Sandred Steelseeker here, and yeah, keep that. So, Gingerbread Cabin might have to come down now, which is going to be a little awkward for us, but that's also okay, because we want to make sure that we have what we need. Play the Snow-Covered Forest. We technically don't have a 3-drop yet, so I guess we'll just do it this way. Sand the Steelseeker. Alright, opponent, so what are you trying to play? You got a Canopy Vista, so that obviously means it's probably going to be... Is it life gain, tokens, angels? What do you got, opponent? Ooh, it's enchantments. Fascinating. Well, this will be a fun match. So with that, capping down, Candy Trail. We get to scry, and we also get to fix our draws here. So with that, let's, I think, a land here. So we'll actually have to put those down. Steelseeker to the graveyard. Nothing yet. All we just need to do is get to one land, and we should be solid here, everybody. Shukai Naturalist, number 2. This is fine. Okay, perfect. We got our land. So with that, we will play Wicked Wolf now. We'll take out a Naturalist. Naturalist down. Pass. Okay, we now have what we need set up, which is actually great for us. All we just need to do is put down our Knight of Sweet's Revenge. Okay. I'm just going to start trying to draw cards here. We don't have as much of a hard card draw engine, but we do have a ramp engine that's really set to go here. And thankfully, I don't think our opponent has any way of slowing us down here. All that glitters. A little scary, but this is fine, everyone. All we just need to do is get our troll out, and we should be okay to overwhelm them. I'm honestly surprised they didn't put it on the natural list. Alright, so with that, let's go off here, everybody. This is what we came here for. Make a food. We will throw away the Return to the Wilds. We will play Welcome to Sweet Tooth. Make a human. No attacks yet. Okay, so we're actually pretty set to go here right here. Even if our opponent right now starts swinging, we have ways of stabilizing. Eidolon of Blossoms, number 2. Okay, well, our opponent's definitely going to go off here. It's a little scary, but it's okay, everybody. We still got time. Ideally, another Wicked Wolf here would actually be perfect, because we could then use that against our opponent. All that glitters, number 2. Nothing to worry about, everybody. We'll be fine. They're drawing cards. Opponent goes swinging. No blocks. Down to 13. That is a hard hit, but we'll be okay, everybody. We can still chump block for a couple turns. We make a food. Keep that. Snow-covered forest. Night of Sweet Revenge, number 2. Keep that on top. No attacks yet, and we pass. Forest. Naturalist, number 3. Okay, opponent's going off here. We really need at least one of our bigger payoffs here. We have plenty of food for the Night of Sweet's Revenge. That's not a problem for us. Oh boy. This might be a problem for us. Alright, so unfortunately that means now Wicked Wolf is gone, which is a bit of a shame. But that's okay, everybody. Wedding announcement. Okay, we might be in trouble actually now. Unfortunately, our deck's slower than I thought it was going to be, and we're still not getting to our payoffs. Can we survive at least one more turn? Oh. Well, guess not. Alright, well, this is unfortunate, everybody. We'll just let our opponent do their thing. They draw some cards. Did we lose here? Are we done? Let's use this many journeys. Play another land. Wow, our opponent really is going off here. I will say, though, their deck is pretty awesome. We ourselves actually already put together a enchantment deck a couple of weeks ago, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already seen it. I probably already have that link up for you anyway. Okay, I think that's it, everybody. Yeah, I'm just going to quit right here. We lost this one. Well, that was only unfortunate because our opponent did manage to go off there. I'm not mad or anything like that. We just realized we were a little bit slower and we don't actually have what we needed. We had plenty of ramp, but we just couldn't get to our payoff in time. And there you have it, everybody. So that was our mono green food fight deck for you in a nutshell. And let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Would you play this deck? Are you a fan of the food mechanic? To be perfectly honest with you, I'll be honest. That one game I played where I kind of misplayed possibly against the elves. Did I do the wrong move there? Should I just take in the damage? I don't know. I would love to hear from you guys how your thoughts on that would have been. I think I still probably would have lost, but we probably could have played that maybe a little bit better. But otherwise, you did see at least with one match, we were able to pull off, of course, an awesome victory against a Shieldred. So I will definitely say, against Shieldred, we definitely can hang against her and we could fight against those Beseech the Mirror. So props to us on that one. Still, obviously on a budget, there's only so much we can do. You do realize, of course, our biggest weakness is we have to do a lot of resource management with not only our lands, but also the food payoffs with us. So keep that in mind if you do want to play this. Yes, you can ramp out very quickly, but if you don't have the Night of Sweet's Revenge, the deck kind of fumbles a little bit, and you have to kind of hopefully lean more on your food that you have to then use up even more mana for just to get to more payoffs. So however you want to look at it, I still am honestly thinking that this deck is actually pretty solid as is, and all we just need to do is upgrade it a little bit, and it can be simply amazing. Delicious, if you will. But in any case, if you are interested in that for my true fiery friends, stick around for just a moment because I'm about to show you how you can upgrade this deck and make it even more tastier than before. So the interesting upgrades that we're looking at, of course, is we're going to have a single copy of the Great Henge. We only need just one because, again, the rest of our deck already provides everything that it already does, which is we already can gain life with our food. We can already ramp very easily, but we're mostly utilizing this for the power of adding +1/+1 counters to our creatures and the card draw itself. This means, of course, you'll have to snip away a couple of other things, but otherwise it's not going to be anything too radical in the main deck. The only other upgrades for it will be a single copy of Lair of the Hydra, since we have a ton of mana to work with once we do have a Knight of Sweet's Revenge out, and of course a single copy of Beseiju to take out any artifacts, enchantments, or non-basic lands in a pinch. The sideboard, however, is a different story. We're going to definitely add in quite a bit of interesting spice here. Obviously, we're going to keep our Blizzard Brawls, we're going to keep our Tyver's Stance, we'll add in an extra copy now of Haywire Might and an extra copy of Heroic Intervention. As far as your graveyard upgrades, we're now looking at Grafdigger's Cage. This, of course, will also turn off those Collected Company decks out there that are trying to ramp and also go wide as fast as possible. We'll also add in a single copy of Sandworm Convergence. Normally in other decks this is very expensive and you usually can't cast it, but because of how easily we make a ton of mana, we can easily cast this card, and this also basically protects us against one of our major weaknesses, which is we have no coverage against flyers. Being able to create a bunch of worm creature tokens each turn is also extremely powerful and easily can close out the game, helping us go wide also in a pinch. The other upgrade that I'm going to recommend for you besides everything else is Nissa Ascendant Animus. So this card pulls double duty in a couple ways. Similar to the Sandworm Convergence, Nissa Ascendant Animus allows us to keep creating more creature tokens to ensure that we can flood the board very quickly and protect ourselves from any go wide strategies. Also with Nissa, we can of course destroy some artifacts or enchantments, so we can do this repeatedly, and also we can actually pay it and make it a lot faster to cast at 5 mana, but most likely we're going to have more than enough mana to cast it for its full price of 7. If we do that, we can also close out the game in another backup way, which is of course utilizing its ultimate ability by being able to give everything +1/+1 for each forest we control, and they also gain trample. So this gives us another way, instead of having to rely on food with Knight of Sweet Revenge, as another way of hopefully just beating out our opponent on the spot. But my only other final thought I want to say is I definitely had a lot of fun putting this deck together. Actually, I kind of threw it together because someone else played it against me, and I thought, is it possible to even make this work on a budget? And definitely, thanks to the immense amount of support from the Wilds of Eldraine, not only were we able to put together a really cool and unique take on mono green, I was really surprised at how much we were able to get away with so little that we invest into it. So I will definitely say, if you're a person that is interested in playing a food deck out there, but you don't want to spend a lot, you definitely have the ideal option, in my opinion, in the deck that we played today. So if you want to play a slightly different take on mono green and you don't want to play the devotion decks over and over again, if you are a fan of the food mechanic, definitely give this deck a try. And I assure you, when you overwhelm your opponent with the amount of food that you throw onto your creatures to make them super beefy and powerful and chomp your opponent to bits, you will definitely not be disappointed. That's all I have for you today. Thanks again for watching, everyone. And just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. Later.